Okay. Fair warning. I don't know how this video is going to turn out because I've got a house full of kids. Lee took the natty and went to get town to get some things. But these videos are going to be my opportunity to answer and to address issues that's been floating around that, as a family, we've always kept to ourselves and never really wanted to share our public affairs with everybody out there because it's nobody's damn business but ours. But I knew you were going to come out, Billy. I was waiting for that one. And dude, wasn't afraid of you in the beginning. I ain't afraid of nothing you can throw at me now. We both know the truth about. I use this word loosely because they're both right here in front of me, and they don't. They're both really not in a happy mood. Me even having this or discussing this situation right now, but it's got to be dealt with. First off, you abandoned your kids. I was just talking to Austin about this too because he was old enough to remember. That's one thing you can't deny that. Austin was old enough to remember, and he still does remember. But for 4 months straight, you didn't want your kids because you were too busy up in Fairmont with I don't know if you're still with her, but the lady you were fooling around with at that time. Okay, that was the 4 months. Now, when we moved to Texas, we moved down there. We let you know. Never hid nothing from nothing or anything like that. But let's ask ourselves a question since everything has you know, everybody wants to jump to the answer so that they can make up the answer and don't want to ask the question. Why did we move to Texas? I discussed in the last video the CPS incident that arose because of Nicole getting sick and everything like that. Um, Went through the courts, did everything like we were supposed to. Everything was everything was kosher. Everything is absolutely kosher. And CPS and DHS or whatever it was, I forgot the name of the three-letter agency that was controlling that situation, even recommended to the court supervised visits only. Courts didn't want to have nothing to do with it. So when we moved to Texas, we discussed it with the local court. I can't remember. We were in Nacogdoches County at that time, and we went to the courthouse. We discussed it with family courts over there and everything like that, and we had everything prepared. We did not hide the kids. We enrolled them in public school. They'll both tell you that they were enrolled in public school from day one. From the day we hit ground in Texas and we got set up, kids were in public school every day. Okay, so you know, and then for 6 months we lost our kids. Discussed that in my previous video too. For 6 months, they were in CPS custody, all under the age, all minors, all still very much children. Um, CPS went by old case files, and they seen that you were a bigger danger to have these children in custody of than just letting them sit in the system and give us a chance to prove ourselves. So, you know, there's always a question, there's always an answer. We can nitpick, do whatever we want to do. Hey, answers are answers. I'm gonna cut this part of the video off right now because we're gonna have to get Austin on here, so because he was the old enough to one. I don't know if I'll be able to get Nicole on here because she really don't want nothing to do with none of this shit. She's with her mama. She thinks it's a bunch of bullshit. But I'm gonna cut this off right here. Gives me a couple minutes. I just want to fill in those blanks before, I let Austin talk because I really don't want to talk a lot when Austin's talking. I'm just going to get him to answer basic questions. Hey, what do you want to say? What went on? Blah, blah, blah. Did we ever hide him? He's going to say it like it is. All right? Thank you. Have a good day. God bless.
Okay, my name's Austin Harshine. I am supposedly Billy's son, which I highly disagree. We may have blood in common. That'd probably be about much. Well, there's a few questions my dad wants to ask me now about basically about the past that everybody wants to bring up, especially our next door neighbors. guy down the road named Art. He did quit for a little bit, but then y'all want to bring up about Billy. Then Billy wants to show his face. Well, he can sit here and listen to all the questions that he wants to know about. And I'll be honest, if it hurts your feelings, oh well, because for I can't remember exactly how many years ago, but maybe I'll say about my roughly age, around
17 years, Holston.
yeah, 17 years ago, which Billy, he he was supposed to be my dad, my father, a great husband. No, he was just a fat slob that sat on the bed, watch computers, do everything and anything while mom's sitting there working her butt off to keep us substantial. Well, now y'all can consider this lies, truths, manipulation. I know what's true, y'all don't. So, say around when I started to get bad issues with Billy, which his punishments were beyond natural. Tell you, sitting there getting hit with an extension cord or anything he can absolutely get his hands on to beat you with, yeah, I don't think that's parenting. Sorry. Well, my dad now, he took and I would say not took us in, but basically, how would I say that, Dad?
You stepped in my house, son. You were my kids. That was it. There was no
I,
taking nobody in.
like my dad said, he took and basically treats like his own. Well, Billy didn't like that. Billy did not like that. So I got a few questions that Dad wants to ask me, and I'll tell him truthfully. So, Dad,
Were you brainwashed? Did you have to hear about Billy every day and all the things that Billy did to you every day?
no, never once was brainwashed. Never will be. Besides, I only got one brain cell, so I think that's pretty hard to wash.
We try to keep it as clean as we can, but
but no brainwashing. Once we left out of that bad situation, what? No offense, he actually brainwashed me because Billy was supposed to be such of a great dad. You know, play with his kids, help, help around the house, do like a good husband's supposed to do. Well, that's a lie. That's 100% lie. He abused us. He, like I said, extension cords. It did not matter. If he had his hand around it, you were gonna get hit with it. Cause right now, up at that trailer that I used to live in with, at that point in time, 17 years ago, well, there's a massive hole in the wall because where he took it through a sledge at Haley. So seriously, y'all want to point the fingers at my father for being the bad person here? No, because you know what? If I stayed with Billy, I tell you, I'd be a teetotal different kid. I would be stealing. I would be being abusive to my family and all that. But no, once I got my dad, basically treating me as a son. Right now, Christopher Damron. That's when I started to get better. I started to, well, started to get my GED straightened, starting to get school straightened out. Hell, I got a job right now, and I'm fixing to have me my own car once I get her fixed up on the road. And then I'm getting my name changed over. Because I'm sorry, I am not no Harshine. I don't care what you say, birthrights, whatever. I am not a Harshine. I am a Damron. Okay? So you can get that right off, Billy. You're at this point, for the past 17 years, I never thought of you. I never honestly wanted to think of you, but next door neighbors had to bring you up. then you had to take and calm it. Well, Billy, I'm just gonna put it as simple as this. You know where I am. If you got an issue, talk to me face to face. Not sit there and hide behind a computer and be a keyboard warrior for all I care. Because I'm sorry, if you step in front of me, I'm gonna flatline or I'm gonna put you down. I'm sorry, but that's the God honest truth. After all those years of getting abused, then sitting there watching my mom get picked up by the throat, slammed against the wall with a knife to her heart, and I'm 5 years old, 5 years. So, a little kid seeing that and couldn't do nothing about. But now, where I'm at my age now, 22, and all that, at this point, I don't care. So, there you have it, Billy, and next door neighbor. Since y'all want to bring up a lot of stuff, and I tell you, it ain't the loud ones that's gonna get you. It's gonna be the quiet ones. So, think about that real hard. So, whatever you think is true, go ahead and believe it. Because in my heart, I know it's true. Because I've been through it, not y'all. So, have a good day.
Well, that made me even. I didn't even expect that to come from. Um, there's certain things that we just don't talk about in this house because of Lee. Matter of fact, there's the princess now. Um, but you did a good one on that one, Shelley. Really, you pulled out a pulled out some skeletons in the closet on that one. Good job. Because I really don't blame you, Shelley. I honestly don't blame you. You were not the first one to pick up this torch, but you were the one holding the torch when I finally had enough. I mean, this is a whole this is a whole domino effect of failed systems, all the way from Jared not communicating with the public and telling the public that we had been cleared, that we had took polygraphs, that CPS had been cleared in our house, that we had all these wonderful things going on in our house. Jared never communicated that. FBI never communicated that. State police, nobody ever communicated any of that. Then you had next door neighbors, which don't know nothing about me, but naturally you assume they're next door neighbors. If anybody knows anybody, it's going to be their next door neighbor. But in this case, no, we live a quarter mile back away from everybody, and we do that because of just how disgusting the world is. It's full of people like you, Shelley. It really is. You're not the first one that my family has dealt with because I ain't gonna deny it. We're different. We live different. We have something in us that says if it ain't ours, we won't do it. Whether it be our power, our kids, our house, anything. If it's gonna be ours, it's gonna be ours. Um, you know, you and you and Chris, you guys say you tried to homestead. Hey, great, that's wonderful. You guys couldn't do it. You guys couldn't handle it. We did it. We're doing it. It's taking us a little longer to get to from point A to point B because my dad had a massive heart attack. Kids, you know, kids are kids. Things go on with kids. And, winter up here is a brutal. I'm not going to say the word because it could get whatever, but we know what winters are like up here, and I wasn't fully prepared the first couple years, but as I've shown, we got our little pellet stove. We got a decent little shack. I explained to why I had to build so tiny because honestly, this place is probably way too small for us. The kids are growing and the house ain't growing, or the shack, shed, house, chicken coop, whatever anybody wants to call it, you know, because there's a whole lot of things. And I've been sitting back here quiet, like, hey, but how much is a person supposed to take? How much bullshit? And Jared's lack of communication has let this literally got to a situation to where it's dangerous. because people's heads are so full of bullshit that how long is it going to be before one of them tempts me or my son? You know, because neither me or my son are afraid to throw down. You know, you tempt us and we're on public, we're going to defend ourselves. We're going to defend the family. We're going to defend the babies. We're going to defend the mama. That's just facts. And if somebody comes at us with some kind of bullshit, it ain't going to change the fact that you're already swinging at us. You know, we're going to defend ourselves. And Shelly, you and your husband, what you guys did on national TV, it's on national TV. Just look up Shelly Carson and Doug Tinsley state that they have called CPS multiple times. I can pull up the video anytime I want. I mean, it's you guys sitting right at the table, and you had to have your moment of glory where you're sitting by yourself. Okay? I'm not coming at nobody over rumors because rumors are bullshit. But I've been led around by my nose by all these little people. Hey, do this interview, do that, be this person. I'm not going to be that person no more. You guys want these interviews? I'm going to do them on my own terms. And I'm going to state the facts just like I would to anybody else. Now, you want to twist and misconstrue that? Go ahead. But facts are facts. I'm not going to be led around by my nose like locating the lost tried to do and, oh, make the camera this way. I sit the way I sit because of my back. My videos will be done the way they are. You guys want to hear from me? Fine, you'll hear from me. But you want to take my videos and post them on locating the lost and post them here and twist my words, go right ahead. But this is me speaking on my terms. And Shelly, I don't necessarily blame you because, like I said, it's a whole failed system. But you're the one holding the torch. You're the one who went on national TV. You're the one with cameras. You made yourself a target because Aroostook County is known for one thing and one thing. You ask anybody up here, this is the place you go when you want to disappear. You don't bother your neighbors because you never know who's going to live next door to you. You could get some 80-year-old vet that doesn't realize he's still not in Vietnam. You could get some dude from Iraq that thinks he's still in Iraq. Or you could just get some old man that's just grouchy and don't want nothing to do with nobody. And only one person on this road so far introduced themselves like I would have expected from Aroostook. He pulled up to me in front of me on his tractor, introduced himself, told me who the fuck he was, said, hey, keep my dog on the, because at this time I was up at the head of the road and my dog was running around and he had every right. That man had every right to tell me to keep my dog secure because he had a dog that ran and blah, 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 blah. He explained his situation. Straight up, no kissing ass, no, you like me, I like you. No. You're the new guy here? Okay, fine, I am the new guy. And that was the end of it. But he was the only one. I expected the town. The town, they got to come down and introduce themselves. But all the other bullshit, bringing me cookies and everything, I knew better. I'm in Aroostook County. That ain't how people operate up here. People are very, you see them in public, they're sociable, yeah, and everything like that. But no, people mind their own business up here. You need to learn to mind yours because my business is not your business. Because you want to take little things in my life and twist it and turn it, go ahead. Because it's not going to be what you think it is. Because I've never denied the first damn bit of anything I've said. I've stood behind it. All the way down to the flip phone that you guys want to say, oh, I said it was, no, I never said it was 3G. I said an old school flip phone was my exact words. The exact same flip phone you can go to Walmart and buy. Billy, you want to say that I brainwashed your kids? Go ahead, say I brainwashed your kids. No, I raised your kids up. And they're not your kids, they're mine. I mean, look at Austin. The only thing about Austin that even remotely is his solar panel of a head. But I'm gonna cut this video off because that that shit that I knew Billy was gonna come, and I'm not gonna let that stew. I'm gonna put facts where they are before someone else goes and thinks that they can make a million phone calls. Just like my dad who just got out of the hospital. Oh, I neglect my dad, took his money card and all this other shit. No, because he was just in the hospital for a week and a half. So, but I'm gonna cut this video off because the missus is dinging, 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 dinging me, and I really didn't want to make it in the first place because the kids are home, and I promised I wouldn't. But I couldn't let Billy go. I just couldn't, because that's one fight I do want, and he can take that as a threat or anything else he wants. Because me and Billy will, for what he did to these babies. Oh, I've got Billy's number. You can count on it for what he did to these babies. What he did to that woman, I've got his number. You can count on it. You don't. I wouldn't treat my worst enemy like he treated these kids or that woman. And me and Nicole fight constantly, and I still would never cross the lines he does. But have a good day. I'm gonna cut this off because I'm right at this video is gonna be about 30 minutes long by the time I cut, copy, and paste all the different pieces. Have a good day. Have fun.